Hey everyone, welcome back to week number 8 of the Great Garden Challenge, where I am taking this 15 by 20 foot garden space behind me here, and we are seeing how much dollar value worth of food we can grow over an entire season from March through October. And you get to put in your guess to see how much you think that we're gonna grow, and whoever gets the closest is gonna win the Great Garden giveaway, where you're gonna get $500 worth of free seeds, a free Birdies Raised Bed, and lifetime unlimited level access to the Seedtime garden planning software. So if you wanna put in your guess, there's a link down in the description. Go down, enter your guess, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel as well, and hit that little bell icon to get notified of all the updates. So last week, you got to see where we had some lower germination on some of our rows in the garden here, and we seeded in some more baby greens to fill that in, and they are coming up and growing so nicely. And we shared how you can get $10 worth of free seeds. So if you missed last week's video, definitely drop down. There's a link in the description to go catch up. And now let's talk about this week, where we've done more seeding, more transplanting. Now, just before we get there, I do want to put in another little plug for our fundraiser that we are doing through this whole series with Farm Stew, where we are raising funds to lift 100 families out of poverty into an abundant life by teaching people how to grow their own food, and then even they can sell it to the community. There's an opportunity down below. A huge thank you to all of our donors so far that have been helping us with this, and you can find the link down in the description to go give to that as well. Now let's talk about what happened this week. So this week, some of the things that were on my seed time list to do was to seed a succession planting of lettuce. So I took some of our old soil blocks that we didn't use before, or the seeds didn't germinate very well, and I repurposed them. I have some old blocks here that we did not use that we made before. They have dried out now, but I am going to moisten them down, and I'm gonna seed our lettuce in this tray. Okay, so I'm gonna start by just running some water over top. Blocks like this, when they get dried out, they get dried out. And like literally the water just runs off, and they really just need to kind of soak in water. Right, just put the seeds in here. I want to give them just a little bit of water to soak them. Whoa, but I don't want to wash them out. The other thing that I've done here is I have filled up the water a little bit higher than normal, so it's actually up where the water is at the base of these blocks. So they're actually sitting in water because I really want them to soak up a lot more water, and we're gonna watch that water level go down as they get soaked up into the blocks. And then once again, I'm gonna cover this with our humidity dome. That's gonna help keep the moisture level up in there, as well as these little guys sprout. And that's it. Seeded our succession planting of lettuce. So one of my tasks this week is to transplant green onions, and unfortunately ours did not germinate well. They were new seeds, but they did not germinate good at all. So I have just come into our local garden center here, and I'm gonna see if they have any green onions or some type of onions that we can fill that spot with. Where's the veggie starts? Let's see what we can find. Okay, so I found these onions. They are not scallions or bunching onions. They're actually just more like regular onions. There's some yellow Spanish onions and some candy onions, but I'm gonna grow them as baby scallions. We're gonna give it a shot. Don't tell anyone, but we're going to try, because I'm not gonna have time for them to really form the full heads and bulbs. So we're gonna grow them. We'll grow them small, and then we'll harvest them, and we'll still get something. All right, we are back in the garden here, and we've got our onions. Here we go. And we are going to take them, plant them out. I have marked out our space here. We're gonna be planting these trying to do about 4-ish inches apart, and we will put these out across the rest of our space here, and in little clumps like we would scallions. All right, so I'm just breaking up the roots a little bit at the bottom here to let them be ready to grow out. We're gonna plant these in. All right, we got the green onions in. I mean, our regular onions that are now green onions. And we're gonna grow them as these little bunching onions. What do you think, boys?
I think it's good.
You think it's good? All right, I think so too. And because I had this planned out in seed time, I knew exactly how many bunches I wanted to fill this space, and it worked out perfectly because our carrots are here, beets down here, and this is the last crop Besides, we need to fill in some lettuce down over here.
All right, so I'm just watering in the transplants here. We'll put the sprinkler on them too, but wanted to give them a little extra water boost.
The other thing that we're gonna be doing here is coming through and doing some cultivating. So you can see we have some larger weeds that are coming up, and we're gonna be coming in and pulling. But then we're gonna also come and cultivate for the smaller ones using a tool like this, collinear hoe. If we just stir the top of the soil there, it'll just knock those out.
This is a Johnson grass.
Yeah.
I hate Johnson grass.
Yeah, we do.
I hate Johnson grass.
Do you? Yes, these are some Johnson grasses, and they actually, their roots go down way deeper, but be careful because we don't want to pull up our little plants that we want to eat. So try and pull off the Johnson grass. It'll keep trying to shoot up after a while, but maybe in between crops we can get a spading fork and really get down there and get that root out.
Yeah. We don't want our plants away, or do we? No, we don't.
All right, I'm gonna come down the other side. I can tilt the hoe just enough so that it covers the space between these plants. The other thing that this does is it helps work in the little amendments that we put on earlier. Helps just scratch them in. All right, so we're raking off the weeds because we want to turn the sprinkler on, and we just cultivated this out, and we don't want these all re-rooting. So, way to go, son. Okay, so I just finished cultivating all of our beds here, and it's looking gorgeous. Love it. And then later on this week, we took our starts that were inside that are literally outgrowing their blocks that they were growing in, and we brought them out to the garden here. We transplanted our lettuce that was ready to be transplanted out as a succession planting into the garden here. And then we took our peppers and our cucumbers and our squash, it's a zucchini actually, and potted them up into larger containers. Now, I could have actually just transplanted them directly into the garden. I don't see any frosts on the forecast right now. However, because we have these baby greens going, and because in our seed time plan, we don't actually transplant till later, and I want these baby greens to grow up to maturity so we can get the most out of this space, we potted them up into larger containers, and then in a week, probably next week, but maybe the week after, we'll come and actually transplant those into this garden as well. So that was a fun thing to do with the kids as well. Okay, so listen to what we need to do with these boys. We are going to be taking these out and hardening them off. What we're gonna do is we're going to put them outside in a place where they'll get some sunlight, then they'll get a little bit of shade, and then we're gonna leave them outside overnight through to tomorrow mid-morning, then we'll bring them inside, and then tomorrow evening we can transplant them out. Should we do it?
Yeah. Can I
Wanna try carrying one? Be careful because it does have water in it. Kind of middle afternoon right now. We're gonna put them out right now. They'll get some middle afternoon sun, get hit by some nice breezes. It is 10 a.m. the next day, or around 10 a.m., and I am going to be taking these plants back inside. So they've sat out here from late afternoon yesterday, overnight till mid-morning. We're gonna bring them in the middle of the day here, and then I'm gonna end up coming and either transplanting or potting them on outside by the garden. Okay, we are over. It is the later afternoon. It's just after 5, and actually I should have brought these out around 3-ish and left them outside, and then we're gonna transplant them in. But hey, this evening is the perfect evening for transplanting them because it is overcast. It's actually supposed to rain coming up shortly here, so it'd be a nice little transition for them here. Can you believe it? These plants are 3 weeks old. I should clarify, the cucumbers, the squash, the lettuce here are 3 weeks old. The peppers are like 5 weeks, I believe, and they're huge. All right, so let's come. We're gonna be planting these lettuce in down here.
They're rooted into the other blocks too.
Yeah. All right,
We're gonna plant this in.
let's do it. This one here, because we had one that just did not grow well.
It died.
Yeah.
So we're gonna replace it.
So we just transplanted the lettuce, but we still have these peppers and cucumbers and zucchini here. And I don't want to plant them in yet because they would go on top of some of my baby greens, which I could kind of, put them in between, but I want to get a good baby green harvest off of them. So I'm going to pot them on into some bigger pots. So we're going to run over to the hoop house, get some bigger pots for these. So I just mixed up a bit more potting mix here. I put half of this broken down wood chips and half compost in here, and filled up these pots here, and I'm gonna pot these on. All right, I just finished potting these on into these pots and have watered them in. And we've got our cucumbers, our squash, and our peppers in the back here, and we're gonna wait to put them in until our baby greens are harvested out. Another thing that happened this week that was so much fun is we got our first harvest out of the garden. So as promised, we told you that we were gonna show you how we were gonna thin down our peas because we seeded them in really thickly, and then as they come up, they're nice and thick, but we need to thin them down to about 4 inches apart. So we came in, I took a knife, cut off all of the pea shoots in between, thinned them down. All right, you can see they're in here nice and thick. And so what I'm gonna come in and do is select ones to take out. I'm just gonna snip them off at the bottom here. We're gonna pull them out, and here we have nice pea shoots. We'll put them in our bin here, and then I'll come over and pick which plants that I want to keep and which plants we want to take out. Like we can keep this one, we can come on over and harvest this next one here, and I'll go through the whole line until we thin them down to about 4 inches apart per plant. So here's one row thinned down, and you can really feel like you just slaughtered your planting of peas by thinning them down like this. But the consolation is that you get to eat the harvest. So even I feel a little bit, it's like, oh man, I cut out so many of these peas, but they really are gonna grow better when they're thinned down. Okay, so we have just finished, or I have just finished thinning our peas, and I went through and thinned a little bit on the radishes on either side of them as well. So you can see a lot thinner row now, a little more sparse. And here's our whole garden. Now we're gonna turn on the sprinkler and let it water them in. And those peas we were able to take home, wash them up, and we have our first harvest out of the garden. I'm so excited. I'm planning to put up a spreadsheet so you guys can watch and see as our harvests come in, and we can tally up how much food that we're growing out of this garden. So look for that coming soon. Can't wait to get that for you. It's gonna be so much fun to see these harvests flowing out of here and see how much we can harvest. This is just the first one. We've got so much more coming so very soon. So with all of those things happening in the garden, I was able to check off all of my tasks on my Seedtime task list, which by the way, if you don't have a Seedtime account yet, drop down into the description below. There's a link to go grab your Seedtime account. It's free. You can get it on your mobile phone. You can have it on your computer. It makes it so much easier to stay on track and know what to do and when to do it in your garden all season long. And like I said, hey, it's free to go get your account. So go grab your account, you're gonna love it. And I am really enjoying marking my tasks off, and I was even looking ahead. We've got succession plantings going through this whole season, and I only have like 1 or 2 things to do each week for the next several months. So it really is not that hard once you have a succession plan set up to stay on track and keep things coming in and out of your garden in a seamless way if you have it all planned out easily in a calendar that automatically ports over to a task list, which is exactly what Seedtime does. So one more plug, go grab your Seedtime account. You can even get $10 of free seeds when you watch through our little intro series of videos, and I think you're gonna love it. And now I'm gonna take a quick moment to talk about our giveaway for this week. So last week we gave away $10 of free seeds to pretty much everyone. We told you how you could claim them in last week's video. So if you haven't seen that and you want to go get your $10 of free seeds, go watch last week's video. In this video, we are going to be doing another giveaway, and this time it is going to be for the earth medicine, the dried cow manure that's basically been rolled into a pelleted form. It's super easy to apply in your garden. It's got rave reviews, and you can go purchase this on the Seedtime Store. But if you would like to win one of these, drop down and leave a comment down below in this video and tell me what is your favorite fertilizer or amendment or solution, whatever, fertilizer thing that you have used on your garden, on your plants that has worked really, really well. Or really, you can leave a comment on anything in this video because we're gonna select someone random from the comments to win an Earth Medicines. So go drop down and do that and you'll have a chance to win. And that brings us to a wrap for this week. Thanks so much for watching. This garden is so much fun. I'm having a blast doing it. And if you're enjoying it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Hit that little bell icon to get notified when we launch new videos. There's one coming every week and we're gonna track it through the entire season. So don't forget to also put in your guess of how much you think that we're gonna grow. There's the link down in the description down below. You could win the ultimate garden prize. You never know, right? So go do that. Thanks for watching. Please share this with your friends and we'll see you next week.